Welcome to It's Happening. My name is Jared, and Dane
Guys,
is going to be here with me tonight. We will be
15
talking
minutes and then you got to
about
come inside.
Gobekli Tepe. If you have not heard of Gobekli Tepe, I'm going to destroy that name probably the whole episode, guys. So bear with me. Um, so I'll just kind of go over a little bit real quick while I'm waiting on him. What I think it is, and when he comes in, I'll bring him back on. So what I think is going on with Gobekli Tepe is they have found Noah's temple to God after the flood. Um, they've only excavated like 10% of it. I think there's like 200 towers that they know of, and only like 20 of them, I believe, if that's correct. We'll find out. We're gonna go over an episode on it. It could be something else. This is just my opinion so far, based on where they think they found Noah's Ark, and based on where this temple is, based on God's word. Dane's back. Welcome, bud. Here, let me unmute you.
Yep. Hola.
So yeah, we're gonna watch the WA Files on YouTube. If you're not following this guy, he is really good. He's got an amazing team. Whoever he's working with, man, I would love to work with you guys one day. For real.
There is. Yeah,
But-
go ahead, Jared.
Go ahead, bud. You're good.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, with the Y Files, that show is absolutely incredible, and there was one show in particular that was really captivating, but it turned out to be completely false. And that I love that show kind of pointed in the direction of where the narrative was going with this administration we have right now.
Right.
He made everything on that one episode so believable, but he went, "It's all fake." Made you look, and he was like, "Oh, so yeah,
He's
so you
good.
can make it that believable," and then just go, "No, just kidding. That never
A
happened."
lot. Whoever came up with the structure of this show we're fixing to watch is genius. I highly respect your channel. I learn a lot. I love how he does it as if he's telling the story, as if it's true, like you were just saying. And then at the end, he goes over what he thinks it is and stuff. I mean, it's genius. The talking fish
It's
and everything. I mean,
fascinating.
yeah, it is. I would love to in the future for us to have a producer that can get us a channel going like that as well. I want to keep going live, but I do like his show and what he's doing. I think you can learn a lot like that. At least I think so. Anyways, and I hope you guys do as well. Hey, Sharon, thank you for watching. Yeah, guys, we
Hey,
have the
Sharon.
live chat on. If y'all want to comment, ask us any questions, Dane or I, or maybe throw your theory out on what Gobekli Tepe is. Mine, I believe it's Noah's temple to God where the rainbow appeared. That's what I think it is. Yeah, I could be wrong. Could be.
Who knows?
I think their timing is off. They say it is 12 to 15,000 years old, which could be. I will say this as a Christian, I believe that the earth is 6 to 15,000 years old. That's what my belief is. And that we did an episode on that. I don't want to go too far away from it, but I'll go ahead and pull up the Y Files. Make sure you're following this guy. If you've never watched him yet, he's got an amazing channel, and we will stop it as we go and just kind of talk about it.
Yes, and I will go ahead and I will apologize already because this episode that we're getting into, this was absolutely random that we we just came up with the idea of talking about this episode in particular, what, a half an hour ago, maybe
Yeah.
45 minutes ago.
We've all
but
been busy this week.
Yeah, but I will apologize because I've seen this episode in particular at least 5 times the whole way through, and I will apologize if I want to stop and go, "Hold on, there's more to what he's talking about right here." Because I know a lot about everything in Turkey, you know, everything about Gobekli Tepe and all of the spattering of the underground systems that they have around there, all of the altars, all of the civilizations that that were in that area at the time. This episode is wonderful as like a beginner's class.
Before we get
So,
into it, what is your theory? What do you think it is? Um, Not based off of the Noah stuff you've learned from
oh,
coming from a scientific or education background. What else? What do you think it could be?
I believe it could be a few different things. I wish I wish what they had found there is more text and more say I wish they would have found like a Rosetta Stone or the Emerald Tablets sort of thing there. So it would have been easier to decipher all of the pillars that they have found all around that place. And like Jared had touched on and we had touched on in a previous episode, it's only like 10% excavated and they can't touch it now. So
Yeah,
there's
they made a
chances.
law that you can't. They put it off 150 years. I mean, that right there is like, okay, now I really believe it's Noah's temple, and you're trying to hide it from us because you know people are going to go move to God. When you come out
Yep.
and admit what this is, well, that just makes the Bible that much more real to everyone.
See, and we've touched on like the weapons of mass destruction in Iran. Oh, well, in Iraq and everything, there wasn't any. And guess what? They
At least not
probably
the
found
type
there
of
and covered it
weapons
all
we
up.
know. Yeah, just not the
Right.
weapons we know about.
Right.
I do absolutely believe in Noah's time they were highly advanced, that the ark is going to look a little different than what our minds picture it as.
Yeah.
And that in the ark itself, you're going to find giant tables and giant beds and giants for giants.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
I know
Who
that's crazy.
knows?
It sounds crazy, but the more you start digging into your Bible and reading it from the supernatural worldview that the writers had and what they understood about the unseen realm to us that we don't and that we're not even close to taught about because it is shunned to talk about the stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
We
And
we
of
get
course
we get
any
called every name in the book. Trust me.
yeah, and if we and of course if anybody outside of the quote unquote the archaeology community, they are so just set in their roots that this is the way it was, this is the way it had to be because of this and this and this and this. It's like, dude,
You think
Gobekli
you'd
Tepe
want
was
to look at new information and change your mind, but they
yeah.
don't. No, they don't. Science today
They
says shut up.
Yeah. So what they did at Gobekli Tepe is I do believe it was in the 60s when they passed a law, or it was in the 60s that they started planting these olive trees. But in Turkey, if you plant an olive tree, boom, on this piece of
You
land,
can't do
you
anything around
can't touch it. This is sacred. You can't touch this forever. It's like
it.
we
Didn't they
have one
plant
of the
like two
most
hundred of them right
amazing.
by
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah. It's a full little mini garden or forest. But my goodness, we have the potential for the biggest breakthrough in archaeology and historical data of all time, and they
If
planted
there,
olive trees.
if there's anything that the country should come together on, it's stuff like this because this is not just for one government to keep control of. This affects every human on the planet.
Everyone,
Every single
everyone.
one of us. We all have the right to know what this is. Not just Turkey, not just other countries, and America shouldn't control it either.
Shut that door.
This
Shut
should
that
be
door.
free flowing information. If there was anything that I would want my tax dollars going to, it would be to more archaeologists, more scientists getting out there and
Yep.
actually studying this stuff. Whether I'm proven
Door.
wrong or not,
Oh.
that's what I would like to see our money go for.
Yes. Two
You're
things,
good.
real quick. Two things.
Go ahead.
If I ever win, I'm gonna play like a redneck. If I ever win lottery, I will. If I win $100 million, I'm still not gonna be a millionaire because the biggest majority of that money is going. I will fly to Turkey and burn that forest down. I don't care. We
Well,
need
hey,
to know.
the Mega
And
Millions is tonight, and it's $1 billion. It's
oh,
516 million. I got 4. We'll be good if I win that.
I would.
We'll be
I
really
would.
good if I win that.
I would fly to
Yeah.
Turkey. I would secretly burn every single one of those down. Go, uh-oh, What happened? Sorry, cover up, maybe. I don't know. The second thing I would do is give Graham Hancock a call, hand him
Yeah.
my credit card, and go
Let
do
him
some
do it.
LiDAR. Go do some LiDAR down in the Amazon and grab I forgot his name, but he's the jungle keeper or something like that. I don't remember his name. Oh, Paul Rosalie. Paul Rosalie. And he is the protector of him and his group are the protectors.
You
of
need
Amazon
Randall
rainforest.
Carlson with them. You'd have to get Randall with him.
100%.
And we'd have to go ahead and get the guy from Hunting Hitler from Austin, Texas. What's his name?
Yes.
I can't think of his name right now. Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, he's the Army. We'd have to have him.
Yeah, I would 100%. Of course, I'm going to keep some money. My mom's going to have a new house. Me and Jackson are going to have a new homestead. And my friends and close relatives are going to be taken care of. But the rest of that money, I want to know what we don't know yet.
If I win this lottery tonight, don't worry, we're going to be set for all this stuff.
I just want a pony.
I really do. If I was to do it, if I was to win this $516 million, that's after taxes. So the government's getting half of it. That's $516 million. I mean, that is just.
But I would have Randall.
Wow.
I would have Randall Carlson, Graham Hancock, and all of those guys start a donation fund. So I could donate it to charity instead of having the government take freaking 50% of it right off the top.
I would find every way possible
I will donate
to help
it to charity. I will donate it to charity. It's called the Randall Carlson Foundation. It's called the Graham Hancock Foundation, the Paul Rosalie Foundation. They're gonna, they better start a charity.
Find ways to help for sure. I would find as
100%
ways as I possibly could to help. I would be investing it into more businesses, into things that would earn us passive income, so we could do what we wanted to do. So my kids could do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. But my kids are going to work for it.
Absolutely.
They ain't getting a
Well,
dime.
my kids are already old enough. That's all. If I was to win now, my kids are already old enough. I don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah.
That would be an easy transition. All right. Let's go ahead and start this. We'll end up talking all over the place, guys. If you haven't watched us here yet, we like to talk about anything and everything here, from politics to the supernatural to ancient history, civilizations. I'll try to bring you a Christian perspective the best I can and with what I know. So let's go ahead and get into this.
I was going to say I'll go ahead and finish what my theory is on Gobekli Tepe at this point in time. Is I do not really have of course I don't have a theory in particular that I am dead set on at all, because it's still so, even though it's been mildly excavated for decades now, there are so many unknowns that I cannot put any good faith in in any little theory here and there, because there are hundreds of them. But I'm still waiting for them to get some more digging done and really put some groundwork in to figure out what it is, because the theories are endless.
Yeah.
But
if anything, it absolutely proves there was an ancient civilization who was advanced.
Yeah, and trust me, as we go through this video, like I said, I'm going to be stopping and go, wait. Here's the theory outside of the box here. So
let's do it. You ready?
Yeah, let's get going.
All right, let's do it, guys. And if y'all want us to talk, if you will ask any questions, throw it in the live chat. If you're watching this afterwards, put it in the comments. I will get back with you. If you want to follow Dane or me on social media, everything is in the description. Let's do it.
Civilization, one which mastered technology, mapped the cosmos, and understood our relationship with the natural world. Our ancestors traveled the world and built enormous structures. They scaled their creations into cities. They shared a common governance and similar religious beliefs. Our ancestors lived, as we do today, as a global society. Then around 14,500 years ago, this global superpower started to collapse. First came uncontrollable change, and then a cataclysm. In less than a week, everything and almost everyone was gone. Those left behind built monuments. Monuments not as tributes to gods or homage to kings. The monuments are a warning to future generations, to us. That warning is simple. Danger is coming. Our civilization has ended before, and it will end again. This is one story that big archaeology and world governments don't want you to know. Because once you hear it, you'll never trust them again. Because the danger that's coming, there's not a thing they can do to stop it.
I'm about to skip forward past his commercial here. I can't play that.
Yeah, human. What they discovered would change everything we know about human history. We've all been taught the official story, the big archaeology story.
Yeah.
Okay, so back up a little bit to where the first scene of the hillside and where the yeah, exactly, right there. All right, everybody that can see that, you see the little itty bitty tent up at the top of the hill. In Turkish, Gobekli Tepe means potbelly hill. I think they say that in this, but whatever. But everything that you see from the bottom of that screen to the top, all the way from the little, the covering on one side to the other, all of that is not excavated. Every single piece of that was intentionally buried. 100% of that was buried. We can't touch it because look at the top of that screen. See those trees? We can't touch them because they're sacred trees.
Yeah, the important thing to remember is they were planted after this was found.
They were intentionally planted. Yes, you can see it's a desert. They did not grow there naturally. They planted them there and went, hey, guess what? You can't touch it anymore.
Yep.
Douches.
Sounds a lot like our government.
Hillside around the limestone. Yeah. And though they didn't know it at the time, what they discovered would change everything we know about human history. We've all been taught the official story, the big archaeology story of the origin of human civilization. Stone Age hunter-gatherers emerged from the last ice age and eventually discovered farming. These people organized into settlements in Mesopotamia, the Fertile Crescent. Then, about 6,000 years ago, the first civilization was born, ancient Sumer. Stone Age humans before Sumer were primitive. Their most advanced technology was stone tools. At Gobekli Tepe, archaeologists uncovered 4 man-made stone enclosures covering 100,000 square feet of land. That's interesting, but there was a problem. The earliest parts of Gobekli Tepe were built 11,600 years ago. That's 6,000 years before the ancient Sumerians were doing anything. Now, this didn't make sense at all. 11,600 years ago was the end of the last ice age. Big archaeology said this far back in time, humans were following the migration of animals. They built temporary camps or at most mud huts. Humans were not building enormous, permanent stone structures. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the tools. They didn't have the talent. Yet, here it was. So the more they dug, the more things stopped making sense. Soon, archaeologists learned that the enclosures weren't built at the same time. This indicates long-term occupation of the site. Well, how long? Well, the newest structure was built about 10,500 years ago. That means Gobekli Tepe was occupied for over 1,000 years. Now, 1,000 years doesn't sound that long, but in human history, 1,000 years is a very long time. That's enough time for the Roman Empire to rise and fall again. The excavation of Gobekli Tepe continued, and from the perspective of the scientific establishment, things just kept getting worse. Gobekli Tepe wasn't haphazardly thrown together by Stone Age primitives. It was built strategically for a purpose. The 4 enclosures are circular, between 20 and 200 feet across, and all are angled toward the star Sirius. Sirius is the brightest star in the sky. Many cultures throughout history built temples angled at Sirius, but not 12,000 years ago. Yet here it was. Over the course of 1,100 years, Sirius's alignment moved across the night sky. So the builders of Gobekli Tepe created newer enclosures to follow each realignment. To build these monuments required an...
That alone, that right there alone. Let's say it is as old as they say it is. 11,600. Oh, here, let me unmute. 11,600 years old to 12,000 something hundred years old. That alone changes the history books.
Everything.
These people were educated enough to build these, line them up with the stars. Now, I get it. Back then, it would have been different. They would have been living under that and more aware of it. But still, from what they have taught us about history, this changes it all.
It does.
All of
It
it.
changes it changes the biblical history and the human history. It turns it up. It does. It turns it upside down, because what was the before they found Gobekli Tepe and carbon dated it? I don't remember the oldest. Excuse me. I don't remember the oldest site in particular, but I know it was the Sumerians. You know, with the emerald tablets and that sort of thing. I know that was the that was at the time the oldest civilization that we had came up with, that we had found so far. But yeah, when Gobekli Tepe was discovered, it did. To everybody except the archaeologists, it went, "Oh my, holy
Yeah.
cow, look what we just discovered." And the archaeologists went, "Well,
Cover it up.
but
Cover it
bro,
up.
stop it. Stop
Okay.
it."
They don't want to
And
change the history books. They have to be right. Instead of, you know what?
yeah,
Let's try to be right. Let's not just claim we're right and
they have
throw
to
out
keep
any new
their
information.
yeah, they have to keep their Mercedes-Benz payment, intact and everything, because they're the big bad ones. Sorry to go off topic a little bit,
Oh, you're
but
good. Go ahead.
the absolutely infamous Egyptologist Zahi Hawass. I watched the newest, what was it called, the Lost Temple, or the something. It was Zahi Hawass's like second in command that found this new temple. And to watch that series, and to realize how rich and blatantly obviously rich Zahi Hawass and all of his people are. When you watch that show, you go, dude, if you're really what you say, you are not going to be smoking cigars in $10,000 suits in a palace, from 1,000 miles away, going, "Oh, this is right." It's like, you lost your touch, man, and you got paid, and you are now telling everybody and forcing everything through excuse me, through archaeology, instead of having a difference of opinion. You know, those rich people that are in power. No, you are. I'm sorry to say this, because I have the utmost respect for Zahi Hawass and what he has done for the archaeology world. But he turned that light off in his head. The light that goes, "Oh, maybe it could be different."
I don't get
That
it.
light
I
has
don't
been
get it.
dim for a long time. A long
These
time. And it's like,
people,
dude, I'm sorry, you're washed up. We need somebody new, and we need fresh eyes over everything there, over
yeah,
all of Egypt.
they supposedly. Well, I like to assume that most archaeologists went into archaeology to discover things,
Yeah.
to find things out, to change history.
Yeah.
That's the
So
whole
keep your
point,
eyes open,
right?
keep your mind open.
But they won't let him. They won't let him. They shut it down
Trust
at
the
every
science,
turn.
everybody.
It's
Just
so
trust the
crazy.
science. You have
Yes,
to trust the science.
that's so wild.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
An
It even happens in Egypt.
Yep.
understanding of
All about
astronomy,
control.
mathematics, and engineering. A project of this size would also require skills like community planning, administration, and division of labor. Big Archaeology said people during this time had not yet acquired these skills. Yet here it was. Within each enclosure are T-shaped pillars, some of them 16 feet tall, each weighing up to 10 tons. 43 pillars have been excavated
Really?
so far, but the
Yep.
Gobekli Tepe story is just getting started. Only 5% of the site has been
5%.
uncovered.
Yeah, right, quick.
Recent
Yeah.
LiDAR imaging revealed at least 15.
Now
Oh,
let's remember, people with with copper chisels in loincloths are the ones that supposedly built this place.
yeah.
So
If they're
apparently,
yeah, if they're
they
teaching us
just
right.
woke up. Yeah, they woke up and went, "We're just gonna build all these. We're just gonna build this massive temple because we feel like it."
We're gonna make
And
sure that they're 10 tons, 100-ton rocks 20-ton rocks. We're going to lift them up off the ground. We got nothing better to do today.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like,
Like,
hey,
what?
yeah, that's a slow Tuesday for this guy.
It's so wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
20 additional structures and enclosures buried beneath the main site. And there are more than 200 additional stone pillars. Now, about those stone pillars, there's something very strange going on. Engraved on the pillars are depictions of humans, animals, and human-animal hybrids. There are foxes, lions, scorpions, snakes, boar, wild donkey, gazelles. There's all kinds of things. And the work is very advanced. But the most advanced carvings are on the oldest pillars. As the site gets newer, the designs get less intricate. It's like technology and craftsmanship suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Somehow, 7,000 years before Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids of Giza were built, and 6,000 years before the invention of writing, humans were capable of building this. Where did the builders get this sudden knowledge?
The Anunnaki.
Hill.
Well, the answer to that question is controversial.
The Anunnaki.
Maybe the human story doesn't
That's big.
start at the end of the
I
last
love
ice
Hecklefish.
age like big archaeology wants us to think.
Really clever.
Maybe before the last ice age, the Earth was home to an older and much more advanced civilization. That civilization then taught the primitive local
Now-
hunter-gatherers about
Real
mathematics.
quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
of course, it's not just this one single episode of the Y-Files that really turned, that really turned my attention to the multiple places there in Turkey that are being discovered and being explored, and then of course being roped off and excommunicated as far as everybody else is concerned. These, excuse me, these places, I do believe one theory that I don't know if I've ever heard this. Maybe it's just my theory in particular, but I do believe that they will talk about it further in. I think it's in this episode. They will talk about how Gobekli Tepe was intentionally buried,
Yeah.
and I do believe that of course, they know that it was buried intentionally, but I do believe that is the reason why they are not allowing anybody to excavate it at all anymore, is because if we dug deeper and we found out the real truth, I do believe that it would throw this entire world into chaos. And us Christians, us believers, we're going to be the ones that go, told you so. And I'm the newly saved guy, but I can honestly say they are hiding this stuff because what they find is going to change humanity and their beliefs in religion. And whether you're religious or an atheist, agnostic, Hindu, it doesn't matter. I think it holds the answers to all of the questions. I really do believe that it holds all of the answers. And that's why they intentionally buried it, so it wouldn't get ruined by a flood or an asteroid or anything. And they did a damn good job of doing it because it's still there.
Yeah.
It's just like
This is-
all the alien theories and everything, Bob Lazar and Greer. I don't remember his first name, but those guys, I still don't think that anybody is going to tell us the truth about these UFOs, the aliens, and this and that and this and that, because they fear that if they say they're angels and they're coming, it's going to throw the world into turmoil, chaos, and it might throw it into a rampage that might be worse than the biblical flood that happened to these people at Gobekli Tepe and across the entire world when it happened. I think it would just throw everybody into thwarts, and I think that us Christians would come out on top.
Yeah.
So
No
that's
doubt.
my theory on this.
Here it is in the Bible. I want to read this to you. This is right after the flood. Genesis 8:20. It says, "Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done here. And that's when the rainbow appears, and that's his promise to us. I wish I would talk about more. I need to go back and find some more. It'd be awesome to find some writings on the description of his altar. Or, you know what I mean? That way we can really look at this and go,